Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about different policy templates within Microsoft 365 Defender for cloud apps, right? So what are these templates and how these templates can help us build a strong policies for different use cases and different requirements, right? Now you might be wondering why we should rely on those templates or how those templates can help us, right? So it also allows us to create customized policies based on our needs as per our requirement and whatever we wanted to go ahead and deploy it across, right? And the policy templates are the baseline kind of pre-configured policies that we can simply go ahead and create the same or deploy the same, or if not, create our own policy by using the template and deploy it across, right? Now, those are the templates which are a starter point for us. We don't have to rely on it completely. That's obvious because every organization and every applications and every system is different. So we have to definitely look into the different criteria, different areas to deploy, and different ways how we can refine the policies, deploy those policies appropriately so that we can make sure the systems and everything is configured appropriately and compliant at the same time. And we are enforcing security as well, right? So without wasting much time, I'm going to share my screen and show you what are those templates where you can see it and how you can create customized policy out of it, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Let me share my screen quickly here and you can go through it. All right. Here you can see that I'm on Defender portal, and to see all of that, I'm already in the policy templates page, but I'll go back to home page, and from there I will jump back to the respective page over here, right? So once you are on home page, you need to come here, click on cloud applications, and there under the policies tab, there are two options for us. The first one is policy management, where obviously you would see all those policies and you would also be able to create custom policies as well, right? So basically, these are the different templates and the policies which are on a different category level, and there is option for us to create a policy directly, right? But I'm going to show you on the templates level, right? And if you wanted to see, you can see a bunch of, there are total 34 existing policies. Even these are also the pre-built policy templates, and we can leverage those as well, right? And the policy templates, these are the ones which I'm talking about, right? You would see all those templates over here with the severity, then linked policies, whichever the policy is linked to it, and the published date and type for it. And also you would see the total number of policies over here at the top right of this page, and you would see the severity of each of those policies, right? So you can hover over your mouse and see and understand whether this is on what severity, right? Also, you can filter it out with the different policies like policy or file policy. Then it would show up something similar. Then app discovery. Then you can just uncheck, and you can session policy. You uncheck this one, and you will see all those filters working as expected, right? All right, just to give me a minute over here. All right. All right. So I was talking about all of these templates, right? So based on the filters that we can filter out and come back. Also, you can see filters based on the category, right? For example, you wanted to filter out and create a policy with the DLP. You can simply come out here and filter the DLP policy, and you would see it would list out all those policies or templates, right? And basis on that, we can simply go ahead and create a policy. So now how we can go ahead and create one? By clicking on this plus button over here, which is going to show us the options and customized way of creating this policy, right? So for example, I wanted to create a policy for externally shared source code, right? What it says is alert when the file containing source code is shared outside your organization, right? That's obvious. We wanted to see whatever the data and code is being shared by any of the developers or people who are working and writing code for internal systems and applications. That means we don't want that to be exposed to the public at all, right? So that is why we have to. All right. So this way you can definitely deploy the policy and which is going to take the appropriate actions, right? So it is going to alert to the respective team so that the team, the security team or monitoring team and the respective team can work on the right set of controls which needs to be implemented on the devices, right? So that way it is going to simply block all those actions going forward because company does not want or the organization does not want their employees to share any of the IP, which is intellectual property, right? Whatever is built for the organization that needs to be stored, used, and keep it safe, secure within the organized or enterprise systems only. And that is not easily accessible to anyone outside the world, right? Outside the organization, basically. And no one should be able to use it for their maybe personal use or maybe they just simply wanted to block it because anyone whoever has access, they might try to exfiltrate that and share it across. That way it is going to be something organization doesn't want, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at why creating policy. So create or click on this button. So it's going to land us to create a policy page, right? So now just give it a moment to load that page. And you can see that it's loading over here. It says matched policies filter is no longer available. So this is just a banner or notification. But over here, you can see that policy templates, we have selected this one, right? And if you wanted to, all right, we don't want to select any of those, we can simply select no templates and apply template. That means the existing template, whichever was loaded, that's going to be removed and it's going to show us a clean policy, right? So now here's the policy name or title. I would add one at the end so that we can simply identify what policy was created. And then you can see there's a policy severity that we wanted to set category. It's of course that the DLP one because data loss prevention category that we are trying to deploy it across, right? And then we would get to know what is happening, right? And once we done that, we can add some of the description over here for us to identify and know what this policy is doing, what is the objective of this policy, what's the purpose of, right? And then we should be good there. Now, furthermore, you can see that we have added a lot of extensions where you see access level equals to public over the internet, right? And external specific people outside of the organizations have access to. In this policy, we are focusing only on the public, right? So it says anyone with the link has access to it could be any user, right? Be it with a consumer identity, be it with any enterprise domain identity or anyone, basically anyone across the outside the organization, and whoever has access to that data, that means it's going to simply be identify and notify the respective team. Over here, you can see extensions equals to any of these, right? So these are the extensions of file types. For example, py is for Python file, wherever the code is written and the file is saved.py extension. That means it's a Python file. And similarly, you can see .pic, .cpp, .jar, .pl, cs, sfc, Java, PHP, CGI, and C, right? So these are the different ones. You can also add more if you wanted to add filters, right? So you can add filters based on all of these filter areas, basically. So these are the filters, basically. Let's say you wanted to target apps equals to which apps. Maybe I can simply select 365 apps. And that's another filter for us to capture in this policy and target it across, right? And if you wanted to add more extensions, you should be able to do that, right? So let's say I wanted to add .docs, right? That's the word file extension, right? Maybe I would add more or one more, which is PPT, right? So this way we should be able to add that in the policy, and it's going to do all of that magic for us, right? Now, next filters are available here, which applies to what type of files you want to target, whether it is all files excluding selected folders, whichever you wanted to exclude out of this policy. That means all those folders and those files would not be applied this policy at all, because we are excluding them from the policy, and there is no monitoring on top of that one. Right. And the last option is selected folders, where we will be able to select only those selected folders whichever we want to target out. Right. So that way you will be able to select one and target it out. So for now, I'm going to select all those. Then next is select user groups. Right. So all file owners excluding selected groups, or file owners from the selected user groups. Right. So this is something which allows us to filter out all those people, right? And now here is the option, which is going to something like select all file owners to be able to see and let them know. Then inspection method, how we wanted to inspect, whether none or data classification service. So we can do that as well, where we have filter with match if, any, or all. We can set all of that, or whichever is going to be suitable. It says choose inspection type, exact data match, fingerprint, or trainable classifiers, right? And for that, we have to create trainable classifiers in the portal, if that is available, or we can use existing ones, right? And that should be attached over here, right? If that is needed, right? And it totally depends on us how we wanted to deploy this policy and how we wanted to make sure it is deployed across, right? And then alerts, right? So here we have options. Alerting can be done or set to SOC team, security team, or any team which actually works and do all of these monitoring kind of activities for data sharing, exfiltration, data movement, and any of those activities across the organization, right? So we can set the alerts as well, and those alerts would be flowed through that particular DL or particular group, and it is going to notify to that respective team and users. All right. Now you can see that once we set up the alerts, we can set the number of limits for the per policy. So if you wanted to set 1,000, it's going to do all of that. If we wanted to get only 10, that's going to set or send out those 10 alerts, right? And there's a governance actions as well, what we wanted to do, right? So we can take those governance actions as well, right? Over here, we have governance actions on OneDrive for Business and SharePoint Online, right? Now, something happens like internal user shares any of the documents and the external person has access to, they are going to simply open file and see the content, and they can do whatever it is once they get the access, right? Because we as an organization, if we don't have the policies to see what data was shared across and who has access to it, right? That means we should definitely look into it and take appropriate actions by blocking access to the data, files, and everything together, right? So here are the different actions which we can take, including make the private, remove external user, inherit parent permissions, put that file in the trash, remove a collaborator, apply sensitivity labels. So we can target that sensitivity labels as well, right? Then remove sensitivity labels if in case we wanted to notify users. So we can notify respective user, right? If in case something is going to happen, right? It could be group as well, right? Let me see if I can add any group over here. Majorly, this is for a user specific, right? So that is why it is going to allow us to select users only. Similarly, on the SharePoint Online, we have same options for the same to take the governance actions on that access levels and sharing and everything, right? So we can take all those actions over here as well and do all those steps, right? So I can simply make this file or document private, and we don't want that to be kept it with that user, right? So this way we should be good here on the governance part. And once we are good, our policy is ready to go, right? So once the policy is ready, and we are good then, right? So let me make these changes quickly here. All right. And then minimize it. For now, I'm going to set as is. I'm not going to add any inspection method, but you can see that whatever we have added, including policy, severity, category, policy name, and policy templates as well, right? Based on that, we can definitely take the appropriate configurations and changes. Now, once we are good here, simply go ahead and create this policy, right? So I'll just give it a different name so that we can identify it and create one. So now policy is being created, right? So once the policy is created, it's going to simply be applied across, and you can see that it is showing under all policies, right? And it is showing over here. It shows with a high severity, the DLP category, and actions is to notify. Along with you can see the different options, whether we can see us either disable it or delete it or actions, and if not, then we can simply delete the policy as well, right? And here's the gear icon, which allows us to edit this policy altogether. Okay. So this is how we can go ahead and create a policy as well, right? Which I showed you from the baseline templates, which is going to allow us. Similarly, you are seeing a lot of templates over here. Total are 36 one, and you can go ahead and create policies. Now it is depending on the needs and requirements, how we want to create policies and deploy it. And basis on that, we should be able to go ahead and create one, right? So yeah, that is what I wanted to show you and talk about it and make sure you know how you can go ahead and do that. And it's not only the one category, right? There are a bunch of categories that you can go ahead and definitely create different policies and deploy it across as per needs and requirements, right? So yeah, that's all I wanted to show you and talk about, right? Hope you like it. Hope you learned something new. Do let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and people around you so that they can also learn and know. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so that you get to see every new video once it is uploaded and available on the channel. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching and bye for now.